Hi, fourth grade. Today I'm going to read a story about fossils. Fossils by Enrico Fiorani. Chapter 1. What is a fossil? What was life on Earth like millions of years ago? To find out, you can study fossils. A fossil is the remains of a plant, animal, or other living things that died long ago. Scientists study fossils. Why? They want to learn about the past. Fossils help scientists to answer questions. What did living things look like long ago? Where did they live? Often a fossil is found in a rock. The rock might be limestone or sandstone. These rocks are made of smaller pieces of rock and dirt called sediment. They are sedimentary rocks. We did that when we cooked our cookies and made our metamorphic rocks, because fossils are metamorphic rocks. A fossil is not alive. The plants or animals that made the fossil died long ago. But fossils can tell you a lot about the living things that made it. A fossil might show how a plant looked. It might show how an animal lived. Fossils can show how living things change over millions of years. These fossils of plants are over 2 million years old. Chapter 2. How some fossils are made. Imagine that an animal dies. Other animals eat its skin and other soft parts. Some of the soft parts rot. The hard bones and teeth do not rot. As time goes on, layers of sediment cover the hard parts. Processes on Earth change the bone into rock. The hard parts become fossil. It's like the bone turns into rock. It's amazing. An animal's skeleton sinks into the soil on its way to becoming a fossil. Over the years, wind and water carry away the layers of rock that cover the fossils. Now the fossils are near the ground and are easier to find. People can go see the fossils. They can see fossil bones that are millions of years old. But they are not real bones. They are rocks in the shape of bones. This fossil from an ancient sea was found in Nevada. Most fossils form in seas. Plants and animals that live in the water die. They fall to the bottom of the sea. Over time, they are covered by layers of sediment. They become fossils. Sometimes the level or height of the sea goes down. Places that were once underwater are now dry land. Some of the fossils that formed in the sea are now on dry land too. That's why fish fossils can be found on mountaintops. Remember we talked about the Grand Canyon and we talked about how they found fish fossils in the layers of the earth of the Grand Canyon? Well, that's how it happens. Sometimes scientists find a mark where an animal once lived. The mark may be a footprint of an animal that walked long ago. This kind of fossil is called a trace fossil. Trace fossils include burrows. Burrows are holes in the ground made by animals. This fossil is a skull of a triceratops. Oh, that's the same one that was on the cover of the book, huh? Interesting. A fossil can be a bone, a tooth, or even a footprint from an animal. A fossil can also be the leaves or roots of a plant. There are many types of fossils. You can read about them in this book. You will learn about fossils from animals that lived on land. Other fossils are from animals that lived in the sea. And one fossil is from an animal that flew in the air. There's an activity in here, but we're not going to actually do this. But you can we are going to do it just a little bit different. Make your own fossil. You can use a seashell, 4 spoonfuls of plaster of Paris, 2 spoonfuls of cold water, modeling clay, petroleum jelly, paper cup. I like to teach you guys how to make it from ingredients that you have around your house, like flour and salt. So look to the future, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do this. Fossils of land animals. Big red ants. About 49 million years ago, big red ants lived on the earth. Ants are insects. These ants were some of the biggest insects that ever lived. They had wings. Some of them had big wings as wide as the wings of a small bird. The ants lived in large groups. Almost 5,000 ants lived in each group. The ants were so big that scientists think the ants ate small animals. There are still ants today that eat other small animals, but I don't think they're giant ants like that. The only giant ants I've ever seen are in a movie. Giant animal. The fossil of an animal that looked like a guinea pig were found in South America, but this was not a little guinea pig. Oh no! The animal was 1.2 meters, 4 feet tall. That's about as tall as you. It was 2.7 meters, 9 feet long. It weighed about 690 kilograms, or 1,500 pounds. It weighed more than 25 fourth grade students put together. This animal was even bigger than a bear. The woolly mammoth. Siberia, Russia is covered with ice and snow. One day, scientists there saw an animal. It was frozen. The animal had died long ago, but it still had hair and all of its other parts. It looked like an elephant, but it wasn't. It was a woolly mammoth. How could this animal have all of its parts after so many years? This woolly mammoth lived in the Ice Age era, or a time in history where glaciers covered parts of the earth. An artist's idea of what a woolly mammoth looked like. So this is just a digital render of what they thought the woolly mammoth may have looked like. The cold and ice help protect the animal. How? After an animal dies, other animals may eat its soft parts. The soft parts may also rot away, but scientists believe that the woolly mammoth froze. Even the inside of its body froze. That's why it did not rot or get eaten by other animals. Oldest insects. Can you see the insect on this page? Insects are small animals. This insect is called a bristletale. Years ago, it got caught in amber. Amber flows from trees. It's soft and sticky like glue. It can become hard. When the amber becomes hard, the insect got trapped inside. Kind of like the movie Jurassic Park. Remember, the mosquito gets trapped in amber and they were able to take the dino DNA from that mosquito and they were able to turn it into a live dinosaur, just like the movie. This kind of insect lived almost 400 million years ago. Small horses. About 50 million years ago, some horses were only 30 to 60 centimeters. That's 1 to 2 feet tall. The smallest horse were no taller than a school notebook. Their fossils did not get broken up, so scientists know their size and shape. Scientists also know that the horse ate grapes. How do they know that? They studied the stomachs of the horses. Fossils of sea animals. Oldest shark tooth. This tooth is the oldest fossil of a shark ever found. It is small. It's about 3 to 4 millimeters, less than 1/8 of an inch long. Sharks have no bones. They only have fossils of shark. The only fossils of shark are the hard parts, such as teeth. Sharks are sometimes called living fossils. Why? They have not changed very much in more than 100 million years. Shark with teeth like this lived 400 million years ago. Oldest vomit? Oh! About 160 million years ago, reptiles lived in the seas. They ate shellfish. Shellfish are animals that live in shells. The reptiles liked the shellfish, but they did not like the shells. The sharp shells could hurt the reptile's stomach, so the reptiles vomited up the shells. In time, the vomit became fossils. It's very similar to like an owl pellet. So whatever those reptiles can't digest, or like a fur ball of a cat, they just cough it up because their bodies can't digest it. How do scientists know that the fossils were vomit? They studied the fossils under a microscope. They saw that acids from the animal's stomach had changed the fossil shells. This was proof that the shells had been in the animal's stomach before being vomited up. Fossils of flying animals. Some scientists found what they think is the oldest bird fossil. The animal was like a dinosaur, but it had wings like a bird. It could fly like a bird. This bird's wings helped it to fly. Becoming extinct. From fossils, we know that some living things are not found on Earth today. There are no more woolly mammoths, for example. All the woolly mammoths have died or become extinct. Sometimes scientists know why a plant or an animal becomes extinct. Sometimes they are not sure. Many living things can become extinct at the same time. This is called mass extinction. The last mass extinction happened 54 million years ago. Scientists have found fossils of the plants and animals that died. Living things still become extinct today. In fact, more and more are becoming extinct. Why? Many habitats are being destroyed. A habitat is a place where certain plants or animals live and grow. When habitats are destroyed, many living things can become extinct. Some of these living things will form fossils. What do you think people will learn about the plants and animals that become extinct in our lifetime? The dodo became extinct several hundred years ago. The glossary is here, so the words we learned about was amber, and amber is like tree sap that would harden and entrap bugs and other objects. Extinction means that all animals died out of that particular species. A fossil is the remains or marks of a living thing that formed long ago. Habitat is the place where the animals or species live. A microscope is an instrument that we use to make things look bigger. So micro means little and scope means to see, so we can see little things. And then a trace fossil is a mark or footprint that is fossilized by a species. Thank you for reading about fossils with me today. I really enjoy the fossils and I can't wait to see your sketch notes.